Greetings and welcome to HealthNutz, episode 11. We made it to episode 11. Uh,
Woo!
I'm Chad Wallenberg, and with me, as always, is.
Hey, I'm Dan Fry.
And let's see, it's been a while, so let's just in case people are jumping in. HealthNutz is a health and technology podcast. It's mainly a health and healthy living and uh, green type of podcast, but then we put a little bit of a technology twist on it. And I don't know how much we're going to get into technology. Well, I guess we will when we talk about the weather and working out and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any, before we get into all that stuff, it is a new year. It's first podcast of 2015. It's been a couple months since we've done the
Yeah, about
podcast.
that. Happy New Year there,
Yeah.
Chad.
Happy New Year. So do you do resolutions or anything
Nah,
like
no, I
resolutions?
don't. I'm always, doing the standard ones anyway, try to be healthier and lose weight and all that kind of stuff. So there's no point in making a annual declaration of it, right?
Yeah, yep. A lot of people poo-poo resolutions. I have a little bit of a different attitude about it because I feel like January, the beginning of January, the new year, is actually a really good time
Hmm.
to try to start being healthier. Your
Right.
your holiday season's behind you. If you need that date set, then more power to you,
Right.
to start that stuff up. What I do, in fact, the past 4 years, I bet you or maybe even more than that, I don't actually wait till New Year's. It's usually the day after Christmas for me. I'm like, you know what? This is it. Let's do this. And that's exactly what I did this year. Like, ate my fill of, ham
Yeah.
and all the goodies on Christmas, and then the next day I was like, okay, I got to get my stuff back together,
Right.
and then the New Year's resolution kind of just adds to that. Which for me, it's just we're going to Ireland,
Oh,
Paris,
awesome.
or France and Spain this summer
That'll be nice.
at the beginning of June. Yeah, and so I have big motivation to lose about 20 more pounds before we and to do a bit of running and walking just to be in shape for that trip because
Sure. Yeah,
it's,
you'll be
it's
doing a lot. Yeah.
it's all walking. I mean, it's just amazing how much we walk when we go on vacations like that. So and backpacking really. I mean, I
Hmm.
always just bring a backpack with me. Now I fit a lot in my backpack. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot, a lot.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. When we went to Disney this past year with the kids and whatnot, I went down there with a hiking pack, and that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
My wife had, a huge suitcase. The girls had a huge suitcase of stuff, and I'm like, nope, I am fitting everything in this hiking pack, and I did. And I was really impressed with myself for that.
And you really have to do that with Europe because you
Hmm.
don't want to check bags. Not only that, with me because the kids will be with us in Ireland, and then it'll just be Joe and I for the rest of the trip in France and Spain. But when I have the kids, I can strap my stuff on my back and still carry other people's suitcase. Like there's just a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
advantages to it,
Yep.
and you really do have to pack light.
Yep.
This trip's going to be crazy because Ireland's going to be cold, but by the time we get to Barcelona, Spain, it's going to be hot, and there's actually
Oh,
beautiful beaches there. So we're
you
gonna
gotta
have
pack
a
double.
gamut of clothes. Yeah, I'm. It's easy for me because I have the pants that unzip and turn into shorts.
Hmm.
So I have stuff like that, but it's still going to be a little more complicated. We got to bring a bathing suit and things like that. But yeah.
Scott Evest, I believe, makes that type of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I've had I have a Scotty Vest fleece jacket. That's
Yeah,
the
me
only
too.
thing I travel with.
Hmm.
I mean, it's another carry-on bag basically.
Yep.
You
Hmm.
know. Yeah.
Dude, we probably have the same one.
Probably there is the one where you can zip off the sleeves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much the flagship one. If you're gonna get something like that's a great
Right.
jacket. Actually holds an iPad or a tablet
Yep.
inside on the
Hmm.
inside pocket. Yeah, it's good stuff. Uh, yeah. So anyway, that's part of my motivation. I'm trying to just keep the sugars under control and lose some weight. I've lost about 10 pounds since Christmas,
Oh,
so it's
that's
not bad.
great.
Yeah, it's not bad. Um, of course, it was what it was Christmas 3.5 weeks ago. It was a while ago now.
Yeah, it was. It was a while ago.
And I've been real good. And then this weekend, I was just like, you know what? I need a cheat weekend. I just been relaxing, eating crap, and drinking a few beers. But that happens from time to time. As long as I get right back on the wagon, everything
Right.
goes fine. And yeah, and just less stress, right? Like just kind of keeping a chill attitude about things. My new job is hectic, like way more hectic than my life has been in a long time. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
so I have to keep a zen attitude about everything.
You know what I find myself kind of looking forward to doing? I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm kind of like in that same boat. I mean, we've been going like full throttle at work for, I wouldn't say, a good solid year and a half. Now granted, I was always busy to begin with, but it seems like the last year and a half it just really kind of ramped up,
Yeah,
pretty steadily. And so when I come home and I'm looking for something to do or whatever, honestly, I'll fold the laundry because it's mindless and it lets my brain kind of like unwind from the constant stuff that's going on.
do you listen to something while you're folding laundry?
I usually have a podcast going
Yeah, that's what I
or
do.
music going. By the way, my new favorite thing to listen to right now is the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1. Check
Oh,
it out.
nice.
It's pretty sweet. It was free one day on Google Play, and I was like, I got to check this out. I'm listening to all the songs. I'm like, I love every single one. There's maybe
I
one
mean,
song that I'm like, but most of the songs are just awesome. And if you've seen the
absolutely.
movie, I think it's what's playing in the cassette as
Hmm.
he's going throughout it. So it's that whole soundtrack. I mean, it is awesome.
I mean, that's what makes that movie, right? The
Oh yeah.
soundtrack is just ridiculous, and how
Then
it's
then
all built into the movie.
I highly recommend the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1. So
Nice, nice. That's actually like, no exaggeration. That's like my favorite movie of all time. I know that sounds crazy because it
mhm.
just came out last year, but
Yeah.
I've seen it 5 times. I saw it 3 times in the theater. Like, I just love that movie.
Yeah, it was great. I really dug it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
actually getting my wife kind of ramped up on some of those now, so we can all go to the Avengers 2 when that comes out. So.
Yeah, Joe, my wife just saw Guardians a few weeks ago, which, yeah,
Hmm.
it was good. I was happy because she grew up in the '80s, so she was all about the music and stuff.
Oh
That's
yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, movie. We could go down a rat hole on movies, but I
Yeah,
guess
yeah, we
depending on how we
could, we
talk.
could.
I am excited this year. I mean, we got a new Star Wars coming out. We've got
Oh
Avengers
yeah.
coming soon. I mean, it's going to be an insane year. I am not excited about Ant-Man, but anyway, I
Well,
digress.
go check out the roadmap because from what I've seen with the
Oh
new
yeah.
Avengers stuff, it's all leading down to like a Black Panther movie
Yep.
and I mean all of that kind of stuff and somehow Ant-Man plays into a lot of that. I'm kind of right there with you. I wasn't too keen on it, but hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a whirl.
Exactly. I'll go see it. I just, yeah, we'll see.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you want to talk about weather first, or you?
Yeah, I want to have a discussion with you about this
Okay.
because this actually kind of came up back in November, and I'm like, I had just gotten done working out, and we had like a funky fall. You know what I mean? Like some days it was back up to like almost
Right.
70 degrees, at least
Yeah.
from where I live, up to 70 degrees, and then like the next day it was down, real cold again. Maybe like low 30s or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Same thing here. It was all over the map, day to day.
So I just happened to be able to go out one morning, right? And I get up at 5. I work out then because otherwise I will not get a chance to do it with kids and work and all that kind of stuff. But I got out and it was 65 degrees at 5:30 in the morning in mid-November. Okay, and I went out and ran and I felt like crap afterwards. I mean,
Oh, that's
it
interesting.
was like the humidity was like really high. I
Yeah.
had a hard time breathing as I was going.
Oh, wow.
I don't know that I didn't think I had on too much clothes or whatever because I did check the weather the night before and I said, okay, I'll just throw on my running jacket and a shirt on underneath or whatever and shorts because I mean obviously I'm not going to go in like pants or my Under Armour stuff or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get out there and I come back. I'm like, I'm going into it. I'm like, this is gonna be great. And I come back and I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like, this is just it was almost oppressive, right? Now contrast that, okay? I went out last Sunday. I was hoping to get out today, but it poured here all day today. But I went out last Sunday. It was maybe 32 degrees. I never ran 3 miles so fast in my entire life. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think I rolled in around 26 50 something or another, 26 minutes and 50 like 2 seconds or something like that.
Nice, nice.
And I came back. I felt really good. I wasn't having the breathing issues that I experienced when I had the 65 and humid day. And I guess it's more humidity than the weather or whatever. But
Well, yeah, I think we're touching on an interesting stuff. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but do you know about the 20-degree rule?
about for dressing and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dress
so
like
if
it's like
55,
20. Yeah.
then add 20 degrees,
Hmm.
and that's what you should dress like.
Right.
And I think what you're touching on is I'm this way anyway. Is that cooler temperatures? There's an optimal temperature. There's optimal temperatures for running.
Hmm.
And if you go by the 20-degree rule, anywhere between 40 degrees and about 60 65 degrees,
Yeah.
you're really going to feel good out there running.
Right.
You know. So yeah, but that's with adding the 20. So you can, I mean, it can be 30 degrees outside, and if you go by the rule of 20, that's about 50 degrees, and I do really well in 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when it
That's
gets
what I've been
colder
noticing.
than that, or if it's
I like
windy,
it cooler. Yeah. Yeah.
then-
Windy. Ooh, that
now,
can get me
windy's not so
sometimes.
good. Yeah, yeah. I know
But
what you mean, though.
I will go out there though, and I think it's pretty amazing. Is once I start running on some of these cold days, my hands are ice cold, right? Until I hit about that mile marker, and it's like I'm wearing gloves. I mean, I'm not, but that's what I feel like. My hands don't get cold anymore. Like once my body warms up enough
Yep.
that I'm out there running around, it doesn't. I don't need. And I think that's kind of playing into this 20 rule that you're talking about as well. This 20-degree rule.
That's it. That's what it is. You warm up, and then it feels much, much warmer than it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I was just kind of amazed, and that's what made me want to talk about it here. Is that on what I was expecting to be a nice warm day, to get out there and be like, I felt like total crap afterwards. Yet I get out here and it's borderline freezing, and I get out and run, and I'm doing much, much better than I would if, in the warmer degrees. Your muscles are going to be looser, I believe, when it's warmer out. So I mean, you're less likely to pull something or whatever. Now I've messed my back up after running on like a 90-degree day too. So I mean, yeah, it was going right from running to helping gardening with my daughter, and end up pulling something on the back. So.
Yeah. I would much rather run on a freezing day than an 85, 90-degree day.
Oh yes, I am right there with you.
I am not good at real hot conditions, and real hot for me is not much.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm finding now, and now I don't know if this is a result of me losing all the weight that I have up to this point, but I don't like this extreme cold anymore. I used to not mind the cold at all, but I find I'm out walking the dog, and she's taking her good old time trying to go to the bathroom, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't want to be out there at all when it comes down to this.
And that
Even
does have to do with losing weight for sure.
Yeah, but even in the house, like our bedroom is a little drafty, it seems. So and my house is only 12 years old. It shouldn't be this drafty, but I'm finding at nighttime I'm having to kick the heat up a little bit more, and not so much for me because I could deal with it, but I don't want my kids to be getting sick and stuff like that.
It makes them tough, dude. You know what we keep at our house at? 67.
67.
Yep.
If you didn't have this constant draft, then I could live with that too. But it seems that I don't know. Maybe it's time to replace the windows, even though the house is only 12 years old.
Yeah. We just our house, it's just so big that if we keep it above that, it's just horrendous heat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's all about the blankets in this house, man.
Yeah.
I always have a sweater on or a sweatshirt on in wintertime.
Yeah.
And my poor wife gets cold so easy, but
yeah,
she doesn't turn the heat up because we don't like $400 heat bills either.
That's true. That's true. Although a neighbor of mine, I was told a neighbor of mine replaced his heater not too long ago with one that has a 16-step motor in it. And this helps affect like the blower and whatnot. And he said that his heating costs have dropped by 30%. So I thought that this was very interesting, and I'm gonna have to look into this.
What type of heater do you have?
It's a contractor grade when they put the house in,
But I mean, because I didn't understand. I always thought, because growing up in New York, it was all baseboard heating, and You
Well, you
know,
have the steam heating up there too. I mean, they
yeah.
have steam vents that heat the entire city of New York there, and you
Well,
really
not in New
don't
York City.
pay.
I just mean like in suburbia in New York
Oh,
State.
oh, okay, yeah,
I mean, everyone has, baseboard heating. Everybody has a basement because of the frost line. It's very
right.
different here. It's heat pumps,
Hmm.
and heat pumps. If you get below 20 degrees, they can't keep up.
Yeah,
So your house literally starts dropping overnight.
right,
And then
yeah.
during the day
Hmm.
it gets back up there. But it's
Sure,
it's
sure.
completely different. It's pretty wild. But yeah, yeah. So anything else on your mind about that? I actually thought you were gonna go like rain, snow, sleet kind of talk.
Well, I mean, I don't have an issue with going out in the rain. I'll go out in there. And the sleet, if it's slippery out,
Yeah, I don't like
I don't need
slippery.
to go out and
No.
slip and turn an ankle or something like
Yeah,
that.
mess up your hip or something. Yeah.
Well, actually, that's funny because even though I had such a good run last week, I did end up messing up my hip, and it was a
Uh,
couple of days where I was like really kind of limping around, and it was more or less. I actually had a chiropractor appointment this week anyway, and I was talking with him about it, and he was saying that um, it's probably because of like the crowning of the street because I typically run in the street around here, and
huh.
my left foot is always because I'm always running with my right foot to the inside of the
Yep.
street there, so more towards the crown. So my left foot is always lower than my right foot. So I'm guessing that that's what I did. Although I've been running the same kind of course now for a couple months, and I've never done it before that.
You know what I used to have to do because my right hip would always get sore.
Hmm.
Is I would have to run my route backwards every other day.
Oh yeah, well that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Just so that because
Hmm.
here the roads are, I mean, really humped in the middle.
Yeah, yeah,
So you're literally kind of hobbling when you run. It's
right, yeah,
really, yeah. Which that's one of the disadvantages about road running and pavement running in general is the unevenness, and not only that, but you're really pounding against that
yeah,
pavement.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they luckily hopefully it'll be done. I don't know when it's going to be done, but maybe a year or so. There is a cornfield that's right outside of where you would turn to come into my development that has now been sold, and they're putting in like a 55 and over development and a community park.
Oh,
So
that's
with,
nice.
with the community park will come all the trails and stuff like that. So I will have that right at my front door practically,
That's awesome.
So that'll be great once that comes in, and I won't have to worry about going on the roadways anymore. Then I can just run a few laps around the park then. So.
Yep. Yep. That'll be real nice.
Hmm.
We have a nice community trail that's paved here locally and nice and flat too. They made it real nice and flat.
Oh yeah.
But they let horses on there.
Oh
And the
really?
horses poop all over it and they don't
Yeah.
clean it up and it's just disgusting.
Oh, don't aren't
I
they
hate
aren't they
having to
supposed to
deal with
put
horse poop when I'm running. I mean that's
aren't,
just not
aren't they
supposed
required to
to.
wear diapers, right? Or the things that catch,
They are supposed to clean up, but they don't because
Yeah.
nobody regulates it. That's it's like that's not supposed to add into the equation. Horse poop. Come on.
You take a step and slip, and then you're face first in it, right?
But our plan, yeah, exactly. And it's just one of those things where you get in the zone,
Hmm.
and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're like, oh,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
and you kind of bounce, and that's another way you can mess up your hip if you know, actually, in all honest truth, I had not really damage, but a few day recovery because a snake jumped out on the Medoc State Park down in North Carolina that I run or used to run in all the time and do the marathon and stuff down there.
Hmm.
Uh, they got bad snakes down there, copperheads and
Oh
all sorts of
yeah.
crazy stuff.
Hmm.
And a copperhead was laying in tree roots that I was running over.
Oh no.
And there was a girl that I know behind me running. There were five of us, but we were spread out. But this girl happened to be right behind me,
Hmm.
and I jumped 5 feet in the air when I saw that because my foot was just about to come down right where the daggone snake
Oh my
was.
goodness.
And I flew up in the air and I screamed like a little girl. I mean, I must have, and of course she freaked out and stopped,
Yeah.
and then she was
Yeah.
like, and then of course we made enough noise and freak out that the snake went down into the
Slithered
woods where it was
away.
actually
Yeah.
the water,
Hmm.
and And she was like, "Wow, Chad, I didn't know you had it in you." I'm like, "Please don't tell anyone how high I just screamed," you know?
Yeah, yeah, right. Like a little girl, right?
Yeah, I totally did. But the point of that was when I jumped up and I actually landed down on one leg. I
Hmm.
really did jump high, and just because I had been, this was 6 miles into the run on a trail run,
Yeah.
and my body was not ready for that quick jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And my that hip was sore for I was probably sore for a week actually,
Yeah.
and then and then it got better. But yeah,
It's a weird sensation because it was it felt like it was like the ball of my hip bone there. You know, the not
yep,
not it, the socket didn't seem to bother me, but it was like the
no,
ball is what
yeah,
bothered me.
it's
So I
where
mean,
right on the side, right?
straight on in from
Yep.
the joint. You know, that's exactly where it was.
And you can touch it and it's sore.
If I was, it didn't really, it wasn't
No,
sore to touch. I mean, actually, it seemed to be able to go up and down steps, no problem. It's just when I would walk in a straight line.
and
That's
then it's
where,
good. Yeah,
yeah. So,
but
but
yeah,
by Wednesday, it was like it wasn't even there. So, I mean, and I had to run Sunday, hobbled around a lot on Monday, and then Tuesday was like, you know.
I think whoever told you about the unevenness of the pavement toe, that really does mess with you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, see, where I'm running at, they don't have a lot of sidewalks, so it's like that would be a
Yeah,
flat surface to run on. But
exactly.
some of these areas, they're just you just have
Yeah,
street and
I have no sidewalks,
yeah,
and
that's right, you do. Yeah.
and I have to dive off the road a lot when cars come and stuff, and that'll mess with you too. That's
Yeah.
why I really can't do super long runs here. I have to go other places to do them because
Right. Right.
you get 10 miles out and then you have to dive off the road for a car. You don't
Yeah.
want to do the rest of the run. It's
No,
like
not at
you just
all.
want to lay down after that. uh,
But I can swing a little technology into this here too.
Good, yeah. Let's hear it.
Because we were talking beforehand as I recently got a Moto 360 here. I'm an Android I do some Android development, so I tend to pick up some of these things to do some testing with, and then as I'm doing development with. And one thing that is really nice about this, because I'm already wearing a Bluetooth heart rate monitor, I got the phone strapped to me somewhere or another. I got on my what is it, jawbone? What is it? My headphones, what are or I'm sorry, the Bluebuds
Oh
X.
yeah, yeah.
They
Oh
are
nice.
awesome because they actually pull tight to the back of my head and come over my ears and in, and they don't come out, which is great.
That is
Um,
cool.
but now Runkeeper integrates really nicely with this with the watch, in that I can walk outside. I don't. It's going to start it right now, but if I say, "Okay, Google, start a run," it already
Depending on
started it
what
right now. So it's firing up Runkeeper right now. Actually, it's talking. It's listening to me talk right now. But it'll start it right up on my phone, no problem, and gives me periodic updates. I can look down and see the. Let me close this off here. Um, I can look down and it shows me my what I'm currently running, my splits, all that kind of. I believe it even has, if I have the heart rate monitor on, it'll have a little thing for the heart rate at the top of it. Um, it puts it all in a nice thing, and as I get done, I don't got to fumble around for my phone. I just swipe it and hit stop, and it stops the workout for me.
That's cool.
It works really, really well. I imagine the other running apps and whatnot are all the same. Have similar types of functionality built into it.
But who
Um,
needs anything other than Runkeeper? Runkeeper's great.
yeah, I know, I know. I'm actually in a challenge on there right now. By the end of the month, to get 3 hours in of workouts or something like that. So
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
it just popped up on there. I said, oh, I should be able to do this, So
Yeah.
so long as I wear something that lets it indicate that I'm doing some type of a workout, whether I'm running or doing some type of weight training or whatever. Although the weight training on the Runkeeper app is funky, because I did it the other day and it says I went 0.11 miles and burned 5 calories, but I was lifting stuff. So I don't understand what it thinks it's
Yeah.
recording there,
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny. But yeah, so I was really really impressed with how it integrates so nicely right there on such a small interface. And while I'm out running, I can either quick look down, or as I finish, just like I said, hit the pause or the stop button on it if I wanted to do any of those things. I don't got to fumble for the phone, because sometimes if you got the lock screen and all that kind of stuff, or if I have Under Armour gloves, so that on some of those cold days, really really cold days, if it's like in the 20s or whatever, it's not the touch sensitive glove, so I can't go and use do that. This way I can just hit the button and go. Works cool. Really really well.
Nice. Yeah, so we're going to be inundated by these devices this year. I mean, there's already quite a few of them out, but there's a whole lot more due out this year. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And
I would urge these companies to just simpler is better. Don't try to throw too much into it. I've seen Apple's interface. I've seen like Samsung's interface, and
Samsung always puts way too much into it. Ugh.
Yeah. They don't appeal to me at all, because they're trying to put everything and anything inside of these things, and for this screen size, it's not logical to do that in my mind. So.
Right. I agree. So I think I'm gonna really quickly just touch on a book that I read over break, and then we'll go into this other topic. So I'm gonna change it on the show notes. I actually have it out of order here, but So we've talked about low-carb, high-fat diets a lot on this podcast.
Yep.
And we talked about the guy Tommy, who's from Switzerland, and he lost tons, like 200 pounds or something.
Right, yeah.
And he's got an awesome blog, and he actually puts every single day he puts up what he eats on his blog, which is really cool. But a lot of times he references this book called Low Carb, High Fat Food Revolution, and it's by Andreas Enfelt, and I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but he is I want to say he's a doctor. He might just be a nutritionist in Switzerland. And this book came out years ago, but just got translated into English. So now you can read this book in English, and this is the book credited for Switzerland's upswing in health. So,
let me ask you: did Switzerland have a poor?
Yes. Well, yeah, very similar to America. And the interesting part about Switzerland is they're one of the only countries in the world that is actually swinging to a healthier populace. Everyone else is continually getting worse and worse and worse.
Right.
We happen to be the champions of that, but everyone is. But Switzerland all of a sudden is better, less heart disease, less diabetes, all sorts of really good statistics, and he goes over that at length in the book. But the book is very easy to read, really good stories, and lots of points to legitimate research. He points out non-legitimate research, and he points out legitimate research, and lots of it. So it's a really good reference and a decent book, and I would definitely recommend it if anybody's interested in that way of eating, which probably should at least check it out. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. What's interesting about the Swiss people is they've made this change. I mean, it's a small country. I think there's only like 4 million people. I could be way off on that, but anyway, it's a really small country. But the people who made the change, the government fought it, and it just caught on fire with the people, and now everyone's just ignoring the government's advice and going this route, and they've become a healthier nation for it. So pretty cool.
You were close, 8 million.
Oh, okay, it was double, but yeah. But what's 4 million between friends,
8,081,000.
Yeah, which is like New York City.
Specific, right? For 2013.
No. Yeah, the Swiss, man, they've got it together. They know what's going on. Except the franc just tanked because they. Well, never mind. We won't get into the European economics, but yeah, they're not part of the euro, and some crazy stuff is going on over there right now. So anyway, I just want to mention that because I really like this book. It's $9.99 on Kindle. We're going to link to it in the show notes. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And it's not long at all. Only
No, it's not long.
272 pages.
Yeah, I read it in a day. I really did.
Well,
And
you're a
in
fast reader, so that would take me like a month to read
Well,
that.
no, because a lot of the end of the book is recipes and
Oh,
appendices and
okay.
stuff like that.
Gotcha.
The bulk of the beginning chapters really you could really read it in a day.
Mhm.
It's not too bad, or a couple days or whatever. Yeah, so yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right,
Awesome.
all right. I'm gonna try to blaze through this, but I have to get
Take
this
your
out, and
time.
there's a
Take your
lot
time.
involved with this.
Hmm.
So I've had heartburn since I was like 20 years old. And I'm not 20 years old. I'm a lot older than 20 years old now. And I, for years and years, could kind of control it with what I ate and then, just pop the occasional Tums kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago or so, oh, actually, maybe it was less than that, maybe 4 years ago or so, it started getting really bad, like GERD. So GERD is wow, I can't say that right now. GERD. What does GERD stand for? Let me read it. That'll be so much better.
Is it GURD?
GERD is
Oh.
gastroesophageal reflux disease. That's why I couldn't do it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sounds
Um,
sounds like a joy.
it's really, really painful. Acid reflux is basically what GERD is, and painful and recurring often. So yeah, so I got to that point, and I talked to my doctor about it, which is what you're supposed to do, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And he gave me a pill, and I popped a pill, and no more heartburn. So I've been popping this pill every day for the past 4 years, and recently started having some. When I say recently, the last 3 months or so, some weird things that I just didn't understand, like some heart palpitations, some stuff. I'm like, what the heck? And I started doing research, and down the rabbit hole, I end up finding out that these medicines that I'm taking, the omeprazole was the medicine. It's very similar to a lot of these medicines on the market that basically they reduce the acid in your stomach to
Mhm.
get rid of the heartburn. And this particular medicine, you're only supposed to be on for 6 weeks.
And
And I've been
your
on for four
doctor, your
years.
your doctor
My
didn't.
doctor, no, 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 no,
Oh,
not at all.
Jesus
In fact,
Christ.
I was getting 3 month supplies in my
Yeah.
prescription. So I'm like, holy cat! Like, the more I'm reading, like people, this is very common. People, their doctors like, here, just take this pill, it'll get better, and people
Mhm.
just stay on it for 12 years, and then they
Yeah.
get stomach cancer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy cow! All right, I got to get off this medicine.
Right.
So I stopped taking it.
And find a new doctor.
Ah, it's not just my doctor, man. It's
Okay.
we're gonna get into that.
Okay.
But so I stopped taking the medicine and I started doing all sorts of research. So come to find out, and this is crazy. I don't know. Have you ever had heartburn? I think we've talked about this, and you don't
No,
you
I
don't get
I
it, do you?
don't. I mean, if I do, it's very acute. So very
Right.
mild, very acute. But
So you're lucky.
yeah.
Come to find out about just about every person in America has heartburn at one point or another.
Hmm.
So it's literally like up there in the 95%.
Yeah.
And then chronic, it's getting really high. It's above 20%. It's some people even call it higher than 40%, but it just depends on how numbers. There,
Hmm.
who knows? But anyway, it's a big problem. And what people don't realize, and doctors are advising in the opposite of the correct answer, is that when you get acid reflux or GERD, your stomach is not creating enough acid.
Oh,
It's
okay.
completely counterintuitive.
Yeah.
So when there is enough acid in your stomach, the flap between your esophagus and your stomach knows to close up, and then the acid can't reach the esophagus, which is where you start getting that heartburn. When you have too little acid, the not only does the flap not function properly, but it also weakens and then exacerbates the situation, and you get this acid reflux. This blew my mind when I read this because I'm like, this is the so I'm sitting here taking an proton pump inhibitor
Mm-hmm.
to have less acid in my stomach, which is what caused the problem in the first place.
Right.
So now I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna fix this? And so
Yeah.
this has been a battle over several months now, because when I got off, I was in rough. I mean, dude, it is painful, and I have a really high pain threshold, or tolerance. Uh, I can do pain, but when I get this, I mean, it is disgusting deep pain in my chest when I get this bad acid reflux. And when I went off, I was getting it bad, worse than I've ever had in my life. And so I did all this research. I ended up getting HCl. So HCl. So now I've got another acronym I have to spell out here. Let's see. Betaine HCl with pepsin is what I'm going for. Yeah, betaine hydrochloride. So hydrochloride is actually the acid that your stomach creates. So you can actually take pills that sell them on Amazon or at your drugstore or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to increase acid production after meals, so that you actually get less heartburn. So I started doing that. I started doing a whole bunch of probiotics, biotics to increase the good bacteria and decrease the bad bacteria. Because come to find out, a lot of this stuff has to do with the flora in your gut and the good and bad bacteria that battle against each other. The bad bacteria actually thrives off of carbohydrates. Funny enough. So in helping the gut along, it's always advised that you basically cut all sugars and grains out of the diet and most
Mm-hmm.
starches.
Yeah.
So that bad bacteria, because it's like celiac. You've probably heard of celiac disease.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a byproduct of that. Now I don't believe I have celiac disease, but who knows? I didn't actually get tested or anything. But anyway, so you're promoting acid in the stomach. You're trying to promote the good bacteria, kill off the bad bacteria, or at least let the good bacteria win over it.
Yeah.
And it all takes time. I mean, for some people that I've been reading, it takes years to get in better shape. And then I came, as I'm going down this rat hole, and I have been taking the hydrochloric acid. I have been taking a probiotic pill form that's supposed to be really good. But I came across this one guy, a really good blog post, and I can't find the blog post again, otherwise I'd post in the show notes. But anyway, he recommended this product called 3-Lac. Now, when you saw 3-Lac, first thing he said is, holy cow, it's expensive. Yeah. It really is. It's expensive stuff. For 60 packets of this stuff, and the crazy thing is you really need to take 2 of these a day.
Oh, really?
So it's really a 30-day supplies. It's about $50, but it has living bacteria in these packets, and you just shoot the packet in your mouth, down it with a little bit of water, just a couple sips of water, and in 3 days of doing this bacteria, whatever this magical bacterial formula that they have, Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus subtilis, and Enterococcus faecalis, if you really want to know. And I'm sure I butchered those pronunciations, but that's what's going on here. Very similar to yogurt, but without any sugars, and you don't really. I mean, it's just there's no commitment. You just pound these suckers back. 3 days, dude, I felt so much better. It was unbelievable. Like, totally stopped having bad reflux.
So what does this do then inside of you?
It's promoting that good bacteria, is what it's doing. Right. It's actually putting the bacteria in there,
which is helping repair that inside there. I take it, and it's probably also helping to digest what's in there more thoroughly, let's say, so that it's
that's right. As the bacteria takes over,
back up, so it's going to prevent that reflux, as a process of that from coming back up through your esophagus.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
yes. Well, as soon as the whole, so the bacteria actually benefits, doesn't directly benefit the bacteria in this, I should say, doesn't directly benefit the stomach. It benefits the next stage of digestion after
Yeah.
the stomach.
Okay.
The acid itself benefits the stomach. But if you have bad bacteria in the stomach, this will help obviously counter that. But and I should specify, and we should specify at the beginning. I'm not a doctor. Check with the doctor with all this garbage. But I'm telling you, I mean, you really can't hurt yourself with this stuff because this is
Right.
good
Right.
stuff. Unless you started like taking 7 packs a day, then I don't know what would happen to you. But it's actually once the food passes through, if you increase every portion of your digestive tract, it's going to help you digest things easier, which in turn helps you get rid of the GERD and the acid reflux. So,
Right.
yeah. So really, I mean, I'm amazed with this product. It's a shame that it's so expensive, but I like,
Do you,
I was in so much pain. I almost have to spend the money to try to get myself straight. And yeah,
do you have to buy? Do you have to take this every single day, no matter what?
yeah.
You do. Okay.
And really, if you have it bad, you really have to do it twice a day.
Okay. And
And
then
you'll feel it if you don't.
okay.
And
Have you asked your doctor about this and what he
no,
thinks?
I ain't talking to my doctor.
Okay.
Nah, man. Yeah, yeah. You would actually have to.
I'm not saying not do it because the doctor's not gonna promote it. I mean, obviously, I think they have a little bit of an agenda anyway to because I think there's a little kickback maybe going to some of these big
Maybe.
pharma companies
I
or
know my
whatever.
doctor thinks he has my best interests at heart. I trust my
I
doctor.
hope I hope that he
He's a
does. I
great
hope that
guy.
everybody's doctor would, with the
Absolutely, but
crackpots out there.
he's not a gastroenterologist.
Right,
If
right,
you want to get stuff straight with your digestive system, you really need to go to specialists. Now, I
right.
didn't do that either. I did the research. I'm starting to feel better. Obviously, the research, and you have to sift through the crap. There's no question about it. And in reality, you probably should get a good dietitian, gastroenterologist, or whatever they're called.
Hmm.
You probably should get some kind of specialist on your side. I didn't do that, and I tend not to.
Right.
But, you should. You really should. But this, I know. I mean, I love this product. The other crazy thing that's really changed my the way I guess the way my stomach feels and everything is, I now squeeze lemon in my water 7-8 times a day.
Oh yeah.
Just lemon.
Hmm.
What people don't realize is that so you're always looking for some kind of pH balance within your stomach or the
Hmm.
body in general, actually. And although lemons are acidic, they promote um, a pH balance. So they cue your body to balance the acid within the body. Plus, you don't get the sugars. Like if you were to do it in orange, yeah, you'd still
Yeah.
get the acid, but you also get the sugar. And then for
Right.
me, obviously, I can't do that. So it turns out I love lemons and I love lemon water. Now it's hard for me not to have just plain water. I always want to squeeze some lemon into it.
So
Uh,
is something about this part of like those cleanses that are out there that I hear are a lot of hokey, but they have like it's like lemon and cayenne pepper and
yeah.
that type of
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, no, that nothing to do with that. For me, it's all about alkaline and my digestive system. I'm trying to heal my digestive system, and I heard that you'd get an alkaline effect if you have just put lemons in your water. I'm like, well, heck, that
Hmm.
tastes good anyway. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
right.
Um, and what's interesting is when I first started it, the lemons were really sour, right? I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, I can't do this.
Hmm.
But interesting enough, as your body adjusts and begins to balance itself,
Hmm.
the lemon doesn't taste as sour anymore.
Yeah.
And it has to do with how your body has balanced out the alkaline, the pH balance, which I thought was really crazy. I had read that, and I'm like, no way. I mean, if it's sour, it's sour.
Yeah,
But
right.
sure enough, it almost tastes like lemonade now, except there's no sugar in it. But it's
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
not that sour, bitter, like whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very interesting.
That is cool. That is cool stuff. Now, a warning though with this.
Yeah, yeah,
Be wary of asking a server at a restaurant to put lemon in your water.
yes. because it is.
It's just a public bin back there that anybody can just go in and grab. They're already sliced. It's not like they're slicing it fresh for you right then and there.
It's actually the biggest way where people get food poisoning in restaurants.
Yeah.
Is the lemons.
So be wary.
But so I agree, and I've always been skeeved out about that, especially working in restaurants when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But they usually just they put it on the side of your cup. They don't throw it in the water. All you do is squeeze that in there and then toss it to the side.
I get that, but it's that bin of 9-10 different servers are all reaching in and grabbing out of the same thing, and they're bringing.
No, you're okay as long as you don't put the skin of the lemon in your water. You're good to go, because the acid of the lemon is going to kill anything on the inside. You're good. So if you want the power of the lemon, you squeeze it in there and then you get rid of it. But do not put the skin in your water. That's where all the bacteria sits and it gets nasty. And yeah. It's funny because that's where people get marked off the most when they go in and inspect restaurants too. Is the lemon.
Oh yeah.
Lemon handling of water. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it. It's going to be an interesting trip. I'm sure it's going to evolve, and I'll report back. I'm sure that listeners have similar problems with their stomachs and stuff. So
yeah, I'm interested to hear how it turns out for you.
Yeah, how it pans out. Yeah. It's a crazy battle. I never thought I'd have to fight. I mean, who knew that? And the thing is the other interesting part about this is that the stomach and the bacteria in your stomach can affect so many different things. Mm-hmm. Allergies, skin rashes, just a million different things. And I was
gonna say my brother has I don't know if we ever talked about it on here, but he has like incredible stomach problems constantly. Like he more or less can't keep most things in him long enough. I mean, it's he had to stop eating red meat. I want to say he did it about 10 years ago now or so.
I've been having problems with red meat too.
Yeah, so I mean he
IBS? Does he have IBS? Is that the problem,
no, they've tested him for all of that stuff, and nothing has ever come back conclusive. I remember one year, it was right after Christmas. This has got to be maybe 5 years ago now, something like that. I just got a call. He was in the hospital. They don't know what was wrong with his stomach. They took his appendix just because
Holy.
Yeah, they did so much testing. Now I don't necessarily trust the place where they were at, but because I just hear reports of people just having such horrible experiences there.
Yeah.
But they still don't know. They still don't know what it is. So he more or less is, he can eat chicken and he can eat turkey and that's about where he can be. I mean, he can eat fish too, but he can't have pretty much anything else, any other kind of meat, without it just severely, upsetting his stomach or having him, be in the bathroom real quickly after he eats or anything like that.
I hate to say it, but the red meat thing, that is an indicator. It's very similar to what I have, which is crazy because you know me, I'm a carnivore. I mean, crazy carnivore. But right now, I have not eaten red meat in like 2 weeks because it blows me up, dude. I get the worst heart, and it's because the stomach can't digest it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because of what we were talking about before. Red meat is one of the hardest things to digest. So I've been eating shrimp, chicken, but not a lot of chicken at the same time. Fish seems to digest way easier than anything else. Chicken's being the second, and then pork. I'm on the fence, like. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Well, now maybe after getting off of that pill for one, and as your stomach seems to be fixing itself with something else like this here, maybe that will come back.
Absolutely, it better. Oh lordy, because it's rough, man. I love my red meat. That's my expectation. Is that I just need to be patient.
Yeah.
Keep doing what I'm doing, and then just very little bit at a time, introduce things back into the diet and see what happens. Ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Like how many? Like I'm not allowed to have any good things anymore. Any red meat? I'm not supposed to be drinking. Like what is there? What's
I've limited stuff, but that's been more of a choice, just to because of. I know where it leads me, once I start going down that road.
Right.
See, I have I developed a like an allergy to chocolate in the past couple of years, and then
Oh, that's crazy.
that's because of where I work. And so and now I was never a big chocolate fan to begin with, but
Yeah, I don't like chocolate. Yeah.
but like just there's a chocolate processing facility next to where I work, and
Hershey?
no, it's not Hershey. I cannot go back to Hershey because of this now. But it will sometimes trigger for me walking the 2 minutes it takes me to get from the door of the building to my car. So I mean, I don't even have to have it. I don't have to eat it, but you get a low cloud cover day where and they're in there roasting away, and that oil or whatever just kind of gets into the air. That it's like a vaporized version of it, and it just kind of gets on. The weirdest thing happens. My whole face starts going numb. My nose, my lips, my cheeks, everything.
That's definitely an allergic
I am not going to eat it because I don't ever want it to make my throat close up or anything like that.
Right.
So
they say that it'll actually get worse if you trigger it via ingestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's more of a direct line into the bloodstream and all that, right?
Right. And Miles, my son, I mean, we finally got him. I don't know if we've talked about that because I don't think he actually went to the allergist about his allergies, and they did that. Have you ever seen that grid on the back?
Yes, I heard. I got to schedule an appointment to go do it so that I can get it all kind of isolated.
It was insane because I didn't go because I had some crazy meeting I had to be at, and Joe, my wife, took my son Miles up to the allergist, and she texts me a picture, and he's got red dots all down his back in a grid, and some of them looked like they were festering. I mean, it was just insane. But yeah, so he has severe tree nut allergies, and it's like that. Like his face goes numb, then he starts breaking out. And then he starts not being able to breathe. And it's scary, dude. I almost swore there. I mean, it is scary as you know what. I mean, it's scary. And, you have to look on every package of everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's processed in the same factory. Fortunately, he's not allergic to peanuts, which is even worse.
Yeah.
But, yeah, crazy stuff, man. Because
there was a crazy story up this way at a local high school here where a kid was allergic to Axe body spray.
What?
Yes.
Because something in
it. There's something in it, and he is severely allergic to it. And the school was trying to get all of the. Is it just a male? Is it a male cologne? I don't know if they make it for women, for girls too.
Yeah, no, it's for men. You're right.
But they try to get all of these kids in this school to stop wearing it, and they finally gave up, and they said, we can't stop these kids from wearing this, and they eventually had to homeschool the kid because it's so prevalent in the high schools.
Boy in a bubble.
So that I guess maybe he had I don't recall the full story, but something happened that triggered this reaction. I imagine it was in school, and it was crazy, right? I mean,
it is. It's terrible.
Axe body spray, yeah. And how they just developed. Like I never had a problem with chocolate up until about 3 years ago, and then all of a sudden it's like I had something. Steph had baked something for it was like Christmas time, and I'm like, what's something's off here? What's going on? And my whole face started going on. I didn't realize it was chocolate at the time, but after that, anytime I had anything chocolate, and I said, okay, I'm done with it. I'm just not going to eat it anymore.
Might have something to do with that stomach flora. But,
yeah, that's true.
But the fact that you don't have any stomach issues means you're probably good to go. Especially you eat well, right? I mean, you're still eating well, and
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, who needs chocolate anyway, man? That's
right.
Makes you fat anyway. Yeah.
But there are some good benefits to certain types. Certain types of dark chocolates. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, the low carb, high fat people, they get like 90%. Cocoa, and there's actually quite a high quantity of good fat in dark chocolate.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it's one of the things that even
tons of antioxidants and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
In small quantities, right?
It has to be. Yeah, I've never liked chocolate, so it's never been an issue for me. My downfall's always been chips and potatoes and pasta and stuff like
Oh, see, I don't even
not candy.
I don't even go for like a potato chip for if that's what's out, I will I just it doesn't appeal to me, you know.
Well, it doesn't
I
for me
know
anymore, but
I
I
know
do miss
what the,
potatoes.
I know what I've read about that that reaction that occurs when you apply the high heat fats to the potatoes and what it does to the starches and why it's
Oh
so
yeah.
bad
Oh,
for your body and whatnot.
the
But
worst.
yeah, so that just turns me off from it right there. So
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
yeah.
But we're intelligent beings at this point. When I was a
Hmm.
kid, I didn't give a dig dang. I
Yeah.
used to go at it, man. Just dive into the chip bag and swim around.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, man.
Yeah.
We did
I
it.
think
That's a
so.
whole hour show. I don't know how we pulled that off.
Yeah, we started out pretty late too, and so
But, so I guess it was fun. Fun. I was dreading it, so I'm happy that we laughed and had fun, and
you have to. Yeah,
hopefully
I don't want you to have to dread to come and talk to me, Chad. Come on now.
it has nothing to do with you. It's just, Joe and I we have when the kids go to bed, we have our time,
Right. Yeah.
and it's my decompression time.
Hmm.
It's important to have decompression
Oh,
time.
I know. I get it. That's why I schedule these usually the nights that Steph is working. So.
Exactly, exactly. But Joe's always here, so I just have to suck it up and do it every now and then. So we're gonna commit to doing this. Let's see. This is our 11th episode. We need to get to episode 20 by the end of the year. That should be our commitment. I know that
Okay.
sounds weak
Yeah.
because that's
I
only
think we could
9
do it.
episodes in 12 months.
I
But
think.
the way we've been going, that'll keep us honest. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we hope
You'll
you
be
all are.
gallivanting around Europe for how long too? So we'd
That's
have to
right. Just
bank
two
some.
weeks. Just 2 weeks. Maybe I can do one from you. No, I ain't gonna talk to you when I'm in
No,
Europe.
I'm not. I'm not gonna make you. I am not gonna make you do a podcast on your when you're on vacation.
Although it is funny, in a lot of those little towns, everything closes at 8, and then you're like, huh,
Oh
what
yeah,
am what am I going to do now?
yeah,
Oh, good thing we bought this wine. Woo!
yeah.
But, yeah, so yeah, we'll do better. And tell your friends if you listen to the show and you like it. Thank you for listening. And we're back. It's 2015, and hopefully we get you some more content. And thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.